Hello dear followers of Karate World News Channel. This is our first live news broadcast and my name is ERMAN AKBUDAK. I'm here to share the recent karate events every Saturday on the KW channel. Here are the headlines. We still mourn the unexpected loss of the deep resident of Turkish karate. The 56th European Karate Championship. Our heart is beating in Porek, Croatia now, with the finals today. And the Olympics. Will Tokyo Olympic Games go ahead amid the pandemic? Our Olympic fate, what will happen to the karate in the Olympics? Will Tokyo be the last games for karate? We discussed as another title. And lastly, karate in times of coronavirus. And here are the details from the headlines. The World Karate is deeply saddened by the passing of WKF and EKF Executive Committee member and President of the Turkish Karate Federation, Esad Deli Hasan. He was truly dedicated to karate. Genuinely passionate about the sport, he was one of the most important personalities of karate after devoting his life to the progress of the sport in Europe and all over the world. Mr. Deli Hasan passed away on the 19th of April at the age of 52. He headed the Turkish Karate Federation since 2008 and he was instrumental to the outstanding progress of that sport in our country, and therefore he contributed to making Turkey one of the top powerhouse nations of karate. He acted as vice president of Mediterranean Karate Federation and was also a member of the WKF Executive Committee for over a decade. He played a vital role in the progress of European karate as a major force in the executive committee of EKF. Before his successful career as a president and committee member, he experienced outstanding achievements as a committee fighter and national coach. I believe the deeds and impressions he left behind won't be easily replaced, and his devotion to karate will never be forgotten by all the members of this community. The 96th European Championship has been going on in Porek now in Croatia, and today is the final stage for the medal bouts. 47 countries have participated with 514 athletes that have competed for 5 days, and 7 gold finals and 3 bronze medal matches for Turkey are being held today in Porek in the continental tournament. This tournament is important for the Olympic qualifications. Let's have a look at the medalists up to now. We have got bronze medal from Eda Eltamur, 68 kilogram, and 2 gold medalists, Meltem Hocaoğlu Akyol and Uğur Aktaş, from their categories, which are already first in their Olympic ranking. So this is important, as I said before, in terms of Olympic qualification. As you may know, after 2020 Tokyo Olympics was postponed to this year, WKF announced that points of qualifications will be valid for 2021. That's why the qualification tournament will keep on, which were this year continuing with Istanbul and Lisbon Karate Premier event, and the tension will be until the tournament in Paris after 19 days. 5 athletes have been qualified up to now for the Olympics. These are for -55 Serap Özçelik Arapoğlu, Meltem Hocaoğlu Akyol for +68, Merve Çoban for 61, and in male kata we have Ali Sofoğlu and lastly Uğur Aktaş for -84. Congratulations to all members of Turkish national team. And fingers crossed, the others who are of top quality in their categories will get the ticket to Tokyo and Paris qualifications next month. Bon chance. I mean, good to them. Another contentious issue that has been since the outbreak of the virus was that, I mean, this is the question maybe that you are asking. Will Tokyo Olympics will go ahead amid the pandemic? So this summer's Olympics will go ahead even if Tokyo remains in a state of emergency, says the International Olympic Committee Vice President John Coates. There have been some objections to whether to hold the events in Tokyo during the outbreak, especially after the emerging mutant viruses and due to lack of access to the approved vaccination by most countries who will be on stage in the Olympics. Recent polls in Japan have shown nearly 70%, this is interesting, of that population, and of course this is a report by the BBC, such kind of population do not want the Olympics, which starts on 23rd of July, to go ahead. Many countries' Olympic associations confirmed that all athletes and supporting staff will be fully vaccinated before they head to Tokyo. It appears pretty clear from what John Coates said that any cancellation of Tokyo Olympics is not going to come from the International Olympic Committee. Another issue is Tokyo is currently under a state of emergency, on the other hand, because of a large rise in the COVID infections. They're planning to vaccinate nearly 36 million elderly citizens before the games open on the 23rd of July. And by the way, Turkish government also promised the vaccination of all Olympians from Turkey. And what about karate's Olympic fate, destiny? I mean, my question to you all. Will Tokyo be the last games for karate? Maybe you can comment. As you probably know, IOC decided to include karate sports in 8 categories in its games for Tokyo 2021 Olympics, and they limited the number of athletes as 10 in each branch, making it let's say 80 competitors in total. However, karate got excluded from Olympic Paris 2024 before competing in Tokyo. At the end of the 2016, IOC confirmed that at their assembly, karate will be one of the 5 new sports that will compete at the Summer Games this year. This sport is extremely popular in Japan and has its roots there, so it's becoming more and more popular nowadays and is spreading all over the world. But IOC soon reported that karate after the Olympics in Tokyo won't be included in the 2024 Paris Olympics. That was decided before its first competition ever even happened. So we hope that IOC will reconsider it before the Paris Olympics and make up their minds in favor of the karate's inclusion in the games. And our last item on the agenda is karate in terms of during the coronavirus. So according to a report by WKF, which is accessible on its website, you can see no less than 19 international karate events were cancelled or postponed this year. WKF has provided a protocol to adapt the sport to the new circumstances for this year. Other than the ongoing European tournament, World Federation has already carried through in 2 important events. One was Istanbul Premier League in March 2021 and Premier 1 in Lisbon April this year also. For all WKF events, strict measures have been taken, and all the athletes, coaches, and national officials, as well as members of arbitration, referees, were asked to submit to the health and sanitation rules, which are enacted by the federation. During registration, before the tournaments, certified masks, certificates of negative PCR tests, and WKF health questionnaire were made mandatory. Social distancing was maintained at all times. COVID event medical team was responsible for implementing these protocols while following the sanitary local measures before and during the event, which ensured, of course, the safety of all participants. And tournaments will be held from now on without any audience. These regulations all shows us that karate action shall continue safely and healthily during the pandemic, hopefully. That's all the news for this week. I will be pleased to read your comments under the video. I will be meeting you with the other World Karate News and live interviews with the athletes, referees, maybe coaches in the following weeks. Thanks for watching me. Stay tuned with Karate World News, Oz.